Welcome to the podcast. We do recover with Jared Miller, your host.
And I'm Dr. Terry Sellers, your co-host.
This is a podcast about recovery from addiction.
We want to talk about what successful recovery can look like.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn.
We have officially made it through Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Turkey Day. It's come, it's gone. We're on our way to Christmas. I'm feeling good about it. You are listening to episode 103. Today we have a special guest. Crystal Randall she's got an amazing story to share. And just to start it off, she's a pretty funny chick. I said, listen, you can name the episode. You can call it whatever you want. She puts her hand on her head and she says, what a mess. And then she looks up and she goes, yep, that's it.
Yep.
So that's how we're getting started today.
What a mess.
I'm pretty excited for this one after that, right?
Yeah, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can sort through the mess a little bit, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we get to her story, though, episode 103 is brought to us by Steps Recovery Centers. Steps Recovery Centers is here to help you or your loved one get help as soon as you're ready to reach out. Reach out by giving them a call at 801-800-8142. Holy cow, was that harmonistic or what? Or you can go directly to their website. That's stepsrc.com. Check it out. They got detox, inpatient, outpatient, aftercare from start to finish. They believe in evidence-based practice. You're in good hands with Steps Recovery Centers. We appreciate them sponsoring this podcast.
Yes, we do.
Episode 103 is also brought to us by Rise Up Supplements. Rise Up Supplements is a nootropic company. We have two blends. The first blend is going to be the blue bottle. The good old blue bottle, right, Doc?
What does blue mean?
Mindful Mood. It's your yoga chick. You love the yoga chick.
I love the yoga chick.
I thought that was BYU.
BYU is blue.
So there you go. You got your blue pills.
Blue mindful mood.
There it is. Mindful Mood helps decrease anxiety and enhance mood.
Cougar fans have anxiety, so we need that.
If you're interested in it, check it out. The ingredients do a lot of really good stuff. Lion's mane is an amazing cordyceps. It's a mushroom. It's fantastic.
It's not from the mane of a lion, actually.
No, it's a form of a mushroom.
I actually knew that. But
yeah. It'd be cool if it was from the mane of a lion.
That would be cool.
Right?
That would be cool.
Like some people claim to have deer horn,
you have
antler,
to go
velvet.
clip lions' manes to get it.
That's what we do, actually. I'm going to reverse what I just
people
said.
died harvesting the drug.
If we can make it through these, that'd be amazing. All right.
We're not going to make it through this.
The second nootropic blend is Mind Shift.
Red.
It's the red bottle. It's going to increase focus and
because
enhance
youth fans
brain
need their
optimization.
mind shifted.
That's right.
To something.
Do you know what we need our mind shifted to?
What's going on?
The Pac-12 championship tonight, baby.
Hey, let's start with
Utes.
Let's start with new and goods.
Okay, kick
Jared,
us off.
what's new and good in your world?
New and good in my world. You know,
let's talk about the Pac-12 championship game for just 1 second, since you're a Ute fan.
I was going to say I got a lot of good. Honestly, first of all, I want to thank Crystal for coming on here.
Okay.
That's a new and good.
Yeah,
like
that is
to
good.
pull, she's a powerhouse in the recovery community.
Mm-hmm.
That's new and good. The fact that she's actually on my podcast, I am honored.
She looks nervous about the podcast a little bit.
Oh, she's gonna do fantastic.
No, I'm not worried.
Yeah,
I'm not worried at all. But she looks a little nervous.
Are you
Is
a
it
BYU?
the hand giving it away?
She's not a BYU fan. She's got there's a hand for those of you that can't see. There's a hand that's like a severed hand that was a Halloween
hand.
decoration. And she's got it holding hands with it so that it can guide her through the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's got a bloody stump on the end. So
Yes.
she'll make it.
Keep me safe.
Yeah, if I say something stupid, she's going to hit me with the bloody stump end. So
There you go.
good.
But yeah,
I guaranteed I get hit, by the way.
the Pac-12 championship is new and good. It'll be exciting.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's weird how they got there. But all my Cougar fans say, oh, they don't deserve it. What? How do you get to the game if you don't deserve it?
Yeah,
Like, they're in the
deserve it.
game.
Yeah,
right. They did everything that they had to do to get into the game. They're in the game. Of course they deserve it.
We're playing USC, who we beat barely by 1 point last time. It's going to be a phenomenal.
Where was
game.
that game? Was it at Utah the last time?
That was at USC.
Oh, okay. So that's good. You guys, it looks like looks good. I know. Do you know? You don't know, do you? Was it at USC, really?
It was at USC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, go Utes.
Go Utes, baby.
Yeah. All right.
Should we ask Crystal?
No.
Okay.
She goes last.
Yeah.
Isn't that how we always do it?
I don't know.
It's not.
I feel like we should bring her in.
Okay.
Crystal, what's new and good in your life?
Okay. I'm playing in the Toys for Tots tournament tomorrow.
What is the Toys for Tots tournament? Like what?
Softball tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I thought you were pitting the kids against kids for toys.
That would be amazing, actually.
MMA fighting for
Yeah,
children for
yeah,
a
it's
red
like
toy truck.
It's like a red mud wrestling match for toys for kids.
Yeah, like a city
Cage
Easter egg
match.
hunt.
That's cool though. It's for a good cause.
You play this. You play the softball. What do you play? Whatever
well,
they
I'm
do.
playing first
Okay.
for my first time.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
Pray for my face.
Keep your face out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't stop the ball with your face. That's bad form. If the ball's gonna hit your face, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
That's
it.
cool.
They only get one.
Yeah, that's a
They
fun
only get one
cause.
base on an overthrow, so it's definitely not
that
worth
true?
taking a ball to your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take it to the face. Then.
Yeah.
No. The face is your moneymaker. Don't take it away.
I hope you guys tear it up. Have some fun.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's a really fun team. We're
That's
going to have
cool.
a lot of fun.
Cool.
Ask Doc Sellers what his
No,
name
no, no.
good is.
Mr.
Yeah.
Denovan.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Denovan.
Everything's fine.
What's new and good in your
Everything's
world?
fine. Nothing new.
Really?
Yeah, really.
You got nothing new.
Nothing.
You're so calm today, man.
Wow.
It's been.
Did you take some mindful mood?
I haven't. That's why I'm so. Maybe I need to.
Yeah, you
Let
did.
me go up and get some. I'll be back in a half hour.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll put the podcast on hold, on pause while you go get some mindful mood.
You always got stuff going on, Sean Denovan.
It's just been a busy week. That's
Don't
all.
lie to
It's
me,
been
man.
so
busy with school stuff. You
busy
mean?
everything. I mean, I before I walked in, I was like, it's Friday. It's 4:00, and I feel like I've done nothing all week. I've been so busy that I've accomplished nothing.
Yeah, I get it.
So everything I wanted to do like Monday at 9:00 is still on that list.
Oh, geez.
So,
All right. Well, here comes the weekend.
but hey, in case you're
Get her
asking, yeah,
done.
my post surgery stuff, I'm still recovering. Since you wanted to bring that up,
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to talk
You
about
didn't?
that. I didn't.
Oh.
Last week was
You
pretty
had surgery
inappropriate.
on the gonads,
Oh, here we
if
go.
I'm not correct.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
It's good though. It's healing.
should have brought scissor sound effects.
Oh yeah. Snip,
Yes.
snip. I'll do the snip,
Fantastic.
snip.
Yeah, I'm still hobbling. But anyway, thanks for asking,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jared.
You're welcome.
Jeez.
How about you, Doc? What's new and good?
New
buddy?
and good.
Bring
new
it
and
home
good
for us.
is what is new and good?
Go strong.
Little bit of transition in my life. I just quit a job.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't necessarily want to talk about that too much, but I quit a job. It's I have a recommendation for everyone out there. Don't quit a job right before Christmas.
Yeah, that's probably.
I'm a little bit stressed about it, but it's okay. It's all going to be fine. We kind of mutually parted ways, and
Listen,
gonna be all right.
you're the medical director of like a dozen facilities. One's not going to hurt you.
in quieter moments, when I can get there, I realize I'm doing fine.
I got it.
But
It's a
you know
little
how it
stressful.
goes when financial stress kind of starts to scare
yeah.
you a little bit. It's like, oh, that was a dumb idea, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was necessary for sure.
You're literally a legend in the recovery
That's
community,
not
so
true at
you'll
all.
you'll have it
That's
replaced.
not true.
I'm totally confident. in
I'm known just because I work at a bunch of places, but legend isn't true. I'm still clean and sober today, though, so that's good, right?
that is good.
That's my new and good.
I have the feeling Crystal
Well-
has a story about being clean and sober too.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Crystal,
Yes.
who are you?
Hello.
So start with like just. I'm meeting you for the first time ever in my life.
Okay, yeah.
Who
That just
are
happened.
You? Who are you?
I am a woman in recovery.
Okay,
Yep.
love that.
I am a mother
Okay,
of so I have birthed 7 children.
what in the world?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a lot of kids. Holy mackerel!
It's a lot. Yeah. I know.
How old are your kids?
My oldest one is 22, and then 19, 18, 16, 9, 8, and 6.
There's a big break there from 16 to 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Do you
happened?
What a mess.
What a mess.
Do you ever just like want to give the Brady Bunch a run for their money and have like 15?
She's got the Brady Bunch killed. Are you
I'm
kidding
done.
me?
So my 9 and my 8-year-old were adopted. So they're
Okay.
not in my home. So the actual like
Your 9 and your 18-year-old were adopted out.
yes,
Okay.
my 9 and my 8-year-old. Yes. So
Did I say 9
the,
and 18?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
sorry.
age gap
9
is
and
like 16 to 6 in our house.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a
That's a
grandma.
big age.
I'm a grandma. I have a 2-year-old grandson.
Get out of here.
So,
Yeah.
so can I ask you this? Because I've been a grandfather for a while now, but is your experience the same as mine? Grandkids are the payment for putting up with your kids all these years.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because grandkids are awesome.
He's pretty great.
Like, you don't even care if they do stuff wrong. Like, it's fine. Just fine. Pick your nose and eat it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, smear chocolate on the walls. That's fine. Like, for grandkids, that's totally cute. And when it's your own kids, you kind of spaz out about it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you want your kids, you're responsible to teach your kids how to grow up. It's not your responsibility with your grandkids.
Yeah.
Fun to have grandkids, huh?
It's fun.
How many grandkids do you have?
Just him. Just the one.
Okay, and he's how old?
He's 2.
2. Oh, 2's an age, isn't it?
Oh,
Can be.
he's so his mom was like, oh, that girl. She was my devil child.
Oh, see, that's fun
And
to watch,
he-
right? The payback.
He is got a lot of her in him.
Oh,
and
good
it's so
for
good to watch.
Good,
'cause,
that's
yeah,
fun, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty good.
Fun to watch your kids
So
get paid
Sellers
back
is-
for torturing you all these years.
Sellers' theory is correct. You get a little joy out of it.
Yeah, a
Yes.
little
Yeah,
bit,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because your kids tortured you for all these years. It's fun to watch them get tortured.
It is.
Here's what you did to me, kids.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so you live down here
I do.
in where about?
Washington.
Okay.
St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any sort of, I don't know if I asked this or not, relationship status? Are you in a relationship? Are you not?
Yes.
You are.
So I've been in a committed relationship for about 12 years now.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of commitment.
I'm a relationship person.
What does that mean?
I go from one to the next. Like,
You like being in a relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Some people love that.
yeah. So
They're called women. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
it could also be called like codependency.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
So
D, all the above.
Yeah.
Right? For sure.
Yep. Sean's going to chime in. I thought he hit a button so he could chime in. He's got something on his mind.
No, I'm making a list of new buttons I need to have. So I need to have like a ding button and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Whenever Seller says something that needs to be
yeah,
Like
so
edited.
dings,
in the
comment.
coming the weeks, I'll have ding
yeah.
button.
yeah, Whenever Seller says a comment that'll get the show
Yeah.
like chopped
Yeah,
by the woke crowd that's listening to us.
that's right.
Woke crowd doesn't listen to me. So, okay. So let's talk about how you got to. You're a woman in recovery. How'd you get to be a woman in recovery?
um
Tell us about your childhood,
that.
first of all.
okay.
I don't want to psychoanalyze you on a podcast. but
Yeah. Okay.
How'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up? What was that what were those circumstances like?
There's a lot to that.
Okay.
There's a lot to that. I was born here. I'm the only child of my parents.
Okay.
But I have it's a mess. Okay, I have 6 siblings, but none of them are my full blood siblings.
You have a bunch of step siblings and a bunch
Half.
of half
They're all half.
siblings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my parents got divorced when I was like 3 or 4.
Oh.
So me and my mom went to Vegas.
Okay.
My mom got remarried.
Your mom likes relationships too, maybe.
She does. Yeah.
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 That's what I'm hearing.
She's still in that relationship. So
Oh,
it's,
good.
yeah. So I went to school for a couple years in Vegas, started things out. And then we moved to Pleasant Grove
Okay.
and I did school there for a couple years. And then we moved to Orem.
How old were you when you moved to Pleasant Grove?
I was 8.
Okay, so you went to Pleasant Grove, some elementary school in Pleasant Grove for a little while.
Yeah.
Then moved to Orem.
Then moved to Orem. There's a lot. From my childhood.
But
that,
tell us a little bit of what a lot means.
just
Because you're alluding that there was a reason you moved to Orem, maybe.
It sounds
Well-
like a lot of instability.
yeah.
Yes,
well,
that's
not
what
necessarily
you're hearing, I
instability,
think.
but just Vegas was getting rough, right? And my stepdad was from Utah County, so they moved up there.
Okay.
I had 3 younger siblings, and so I can imagine now being a mom, right? And like how hard it is to like maintain, right?
Sure.
And so, we lived in houses, right? Like we lived in houses. We didn't live in like ghetto apartments and stuff. And so, I think just situationally, we ended up moving a lot. So yeah, I went to school, junior high in Orem, and I found the party friends.
Oh,
and-
good. What
yeah.
This is
junior
where
high
the
school did you
drugs
go to?
start. Sellers. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Hold on, but I got to figure out what junior high.
Okay, so I went to
Because now we're in my neck of the woods.
I went to Canyon View junior
Okay,
high.
right. For
And
For those
then I
of you
went to Oak
listening,
Grove.
we'll attach a map of Utah and all the different because we have a lot of listeners out of state, some out of country.
Yeah.
We'll attach a map.
No,
to
I just
this.
need to know. It's just for me.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody else cares. I just need to know. So, Canyon View Junior High, you fell in with the crowd.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
didn't
bit
care
of a
once
rougher
junior high
crowd.
started. Yeah, there was some things that had happened. I guess in 6th grade, that kind of. I look back and it's like I was screaming for help and nobody heard me.
Do you want to give us an example of those kinds of things, or if you want to go over that, that's fine. But
Share as
what-
much or as little as you're comfortable.
Yeah,
with.
what do you
Like
mean is
just,
some things
like-
happening that you were screaming for help?
So not being heard for like molestation type stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you want to hear you? Your
Anybody.
parents?
Anybody.
Your parents specifically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing.
Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't have to.
Yeah. It's just an interesting thing, like the system and how the system is set up, right?
Okay.
And the responsibility that's put on little kids,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Right.
when
pretty
stuff
unfair.
happens and being honest. And
Right.
it's kind of like a small child's choice on where to go. And they don't, I didn't know.
It's the
I
wrong
didn't
age
know.
to be having to choose that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's too much choice.
So 7th grade started out with me just not caring. And I went from being like a really, really good kid, like honor roll student all through elementary school, you know, the typical, like I did everything. Also, there were some things.
Checking all the right boxes.
Yeah.
Doing all the right
Yeah.
stuff.
There was some things that had like happened when we moved from Vegas to Utah that affected me. Like I got teased for being a redhead when we moved to Utah, and that was so weird to me. Like in Vegas, it doesn't matter what color your skin, your hair, anything. You know, everybody's friends down there.
You're
And
not supposed to be a redhead in Utah County?
I don't know, but I
didn't
started
know
getting
that.
teased a lot,
Welcome
and it
To
was
the bubble.
yeah.
Interesting.
And like people asking like, "Are you Mormon?" Before they could play with you, you know, stuff like that. So
That happens in Utah
Can I-
County.
can I do it
That
again?
absolutely happens in Utah County.
Can I do it again? Welcome to the bubble.
Yeah, well, that's to me that I understand that about Utah County.
Yeah.
The teasing for redhead, I don't totally understand.
I don't
We're-
either.
Because
They were so mean.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't get
it was
that.
rough. So some insecurities had developed, and just so I started smoking weed.
Okay.
I didn't start. Let me rephrase that. In our family, uncles like to celebrate your birthdays with you. And so when I turned 13, one of my uncles was like, "Oh, here's a joint." And then all of us cousins like did it together and went skating.
And to some people, that's going to sound crazy, but it's actually, as a substance abuse counselor, that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
A lot of
yeah.
times people get introduced to substances through their family members.
Yeah.
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 It's not uncommon at all.
It's not uncommon. It's so if I'm going to cringe on this, I'm going to cringe a little bit. I don't think the general public understands the harm that marijuana does to the adolescent brain.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
different if your uncle at age 18 offers you a joint versus your uncle at age 13 offers you a joint, because it's so harmful to a brain of that age.
The only time that the brain is growing more is age infancy to 2.
Yeah, sure.
And so when
Why
you're
don't
in
we
your
offer
teens,
fetuses joints?
Right, when you're in your teens, all that connection is taking place, and that's what Doc Sellers is talking about, right? It interrupts all
Yeah,
that. But-
that's
but-
tough.
So
for a
your uncle
kid.
says, "Here's a joint."
And listen, uncles they're not being sinister. They just think it's, hey, this will help you feel good for a minute.
Yeah.
Or this is fun, or here's something cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I don't believe your uncle was out to destroy your brain. But
No. I mean, he probably didn't know better, you know?
right.
I
No,
think about that
no
all the time,
question.
like-
I think that's the point is people don't understand how
There's a lot of like
devastating-
generational trauma also
Okay.
in the works.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
When you first consumed that mind-altering substance, though, was it like an aha moment? Did you feel like, if I could feel like this forever, or was it just a thing?
Do you remember that first joint?
I was sucked within myself. And I remember sitting at classic skating, like out in the center rink,
Classic
you know?
skating in Orem. It's a great place.
It's so great. And I was like, I could stay here forever. And also, this is terrifying. So,
She had both experiences.
I did. Yeah.
This is awesome. This is horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
But you got that escape that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of got outside of your head. You weren't thinking about the trauma, right? There was an escape from it.
There was. Yeah.
We got 5 minutes left here, and we haven't even got to the meat of her story.
Well, then you better stop saying that and ask her another question.
Where did it go from there? What did that look like? How did that evolve from first marijuana
So
use?
at 14, 9th grade, I was using methamphetamines.
How'd you get introduced to that?
Family.
Okay.
Yeah. My substance use is family.
Okay.
Yeah. So, dropped out of school, middle of 10th grade. We moved down here when I was like 16, so it was like 98. Don't put all the pieces together on my age.
Don't
We're
quote
not,
you on the
we're
air.
not. We're not.
I
don't think
already
there's
gave it
anybody
away when
out
I
there
said
with
I
the
had a
calculator.
grandson, right?
How old are you?
I'm 40.
See, here we go. I just wanted to get that out of the
Yeah.
way.
Okay, so at 17, I had started drugs, stopped drugs, and was pregnant. And had a baby at 18. I'd stopped using before I found out I was pregnant. I didn't use again until I was 21. So,
Primarily methamphetamine.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next few years I have, I'd gotten married. He was considerably older than me. And we had a few more kids. We had everything. We lost everything. Our relationship when I started using with him was just awful. And so there was a point at like when my son was like 6 years old, and he was watching the abuse, and he was watching his dad blame me for what had just happened. That I realized like I don't want to raise him to think that this is okay. And after years of separating, getting back together, he left, and I didn't let him come back, and he thought I was just joking, and I was serious, and I didn't know it, but I was. So I got my poop in a group, and
I like it.
I started school, and I was, doing pretty good. Me and my 4 kids.
Yeah.
At what age are you when you start school up again?
Like, probably 27.
Okay.
And I met a guy, and we started drinking. And around this time is when I realized, like, because up until then I thought I was just codependent, right? Like, if me and my ex could, have some time apart, then I wouldn't use. We'd
Right.
get back together and I'd use again. So I get with this guy, we start drinking, move in together, start using together. It's horrible. My oldest daughter, like, I basically chose him and using over her.
But no, you didn't.
But no, I didn't. But her self-preservation
But
is
she
to
might-
run
she
and
might
protect
feel-
herself
okay.
from me.
Right.
So,
And to be fair, you didn't have a lot of recovery knowledge. You didn't have the community. You didn't have the things in place because you didn't think that you were an addict. You just
Yeah.
thought you were codependent.
yeah.
So it's not like your guard got let down because there was no guard in the first place.
Right.
You were unaware of it.
And there's a lot of pieces to it, too, that I thought me didn't hold significance. I had a body that men wanted. And up until a few years ago, that's what I believed, because that's what I'd been told, that's what I'd been shown. So
That was kind of the conditioning that you'd learned throughout childhood,
yeah,
which is tough. But it's also, listen, that's a big reason why people turn to substances.
But can I
Yeah.
go? Can we stick there for just a second? We only got a minute and 40 left in this segment, but also a body you could use, probably, right?
I
It's
didn't.
not. No,
but,
no, I'm
but
not
yeah,
talking
but
about
yes,
that.
No, yeah.
I'm not talking about like turning to prostitution necessarily, but men that are attracted to someone. What am I trying to say? You can use that to your advantage, right?
Right.
To
Yeah.
get drugs
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if a guy was attracted to you, he'll give you drugs.
Right.
Did that happen some?
It happened a few times, but going back to my family has always been my connection.
Okay, so right.
Yeah.
that was
So-
never rough.
Your
for you in
family
the
doesn't
first
want your
place.
body. They just they
Like
love-
my family, even still today,
Yeah.
if I wanted, I know
But
where
the
to go.
sad thing is in your mind, that's what you felt like you had to offer in a relationship, right? And
That was my value.
That speaks
Right, I think
volumes
there's
to
the
your
point.
mental health at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the bigger point right there. Thanks.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was headed and didn't get there very elegantly, but that's exactly how these things unfold is people think that's what their worth is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and two, I think when you've been forced into doing something, you kind of lose your voice. That's a common thing amongst people that have had sexual trauma and sexual abuse is you feel like you've lost yourself somewhere, and so you've got to learn how to have a voice again. I know we're running down. I'm purposely kind of taking us out here.
15.
Listen, I'm excited to get back to your story.
Yeah.
Jump a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
Me and Sellers are going to kind of calm down, stop talking so much, and let you run.
Okay.
Stick around. Crystal, Randall will be back right after this little 30-second sponsorship mention.
You are listening to We Do Recover with Jared Miller and co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers. We'll be right back after this short break with more of We Do Recover with Jared Miller, sponsored by Steps Recovery Center and the Hilton Garden Inn.
I'm Desmond Lomax, one of the clinical executives here at Steps Recovery, and once you become of the Steps family, you're just a part of the Steps family. A lot of us have overcome substances, overcome addiction, and now we're able to help other people. Second of all, we're also going to help you in a way where you can afford to be helped. Third of all, we're going to give you the same quality that many organizations are charging 2 to 3 times, and it's more about you than it is about our organization.
We welcome you back to We Do Recover with Jared Miller, co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn.
And now with part 2 of our podcast, Jared Miller and Dr. Terry Sellers.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode 103 of We Do Recover with Jared Miller. This is our second segment. We're with Crystal, who's been telling her story. Crystal Randall, if you care. And we'll get right back to that. But first, our second segment is brought to you by the Hilton Garden Inn. So if you've never listened to this podcast, you may not know this, but Hilton Garden Inn is one of the greatest hotels in St. George, Utah. If you happen to be traveling through southern Utah, look them up. Give them a Google search and just type in Hilton Garden Inn. And they take really good care of us. They take really good care sometimes of our guests. They have great amenities. The pool is fantastic. They actually have a good restaurant that serves really good food in the middle of the night when I need it.
Yeah, burgers.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. They got some weird, it's an interesting restaurant because they got some weird Thai food stuff that's pretty good. And so they got stuff. Yeah, it's good. Cool. Anyway, Hilton Garden Inn, they've been good to us. So if you get down here, give them some business. So let's get back to it. We are talking with Crystal Randall, and we have Crystal's in her story right now. We're in her 20s.
Yeah.
Using meth.
Yeah.
Okay,
great.
Let's keep running. Where are we going? So you were in a relationship. He left. You decided to enforce that, like not let him back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're living down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in another relationship. It's awful. It's horrible. Oh, what a mess. I left that relationship finally after it was going to cost me like my kids and everything. So I left that after a year. But I literally went from that guy to my current relationship.
Who you're in a relationship with
now.
Yeah.
But
like
that was
Dustin,
20
right?
years ago,
Yeah,
though, right?
Dustin.
So you've been in your current relationship for a while.
It was the end of my 20s. So like,
So 15.
it's been 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally I made him take me to my mom's, and Dustin was at my mom's, basically waiting for me. Because so me and
It's
Dustin
kind of
have,
like leasing a
grown up
car. You
together.
just turn it in on a new, right? I get it.
I don't suggest that. I do not suggest going from one relationship to another because there's a lot of wreckage that happens, right? Trying to figure out emotions.
Sure.
But going back, so I've known Dustin since I was 3. The first time that I ever used methamphetamines was with him when we were teenagers. So, ironically, he's the last person that I used with also. So, yeah, we get together. I decide to give him a baby while we're homeless.
Okay.
Seems like excellent decision making.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
decision making based on methamphetamine use.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're staying in Provo with my best friend, and I got pregnant. We weren't using. I wasn't using. And through that pregnancy, that was probably one of my healthier pregnancies.
Did you use during
I
pregnancies
did
occasionally?
use as my pregnancies go on, right? That's my addiction goes on.
Sure.
And so yeah.
Because you couldn't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
The powerlessness
Yeah.
concept.
Yes. And so with her, she was one of my healthiest pregnancies. I actually did end up using the last couple weeks that I was pregnant with her. So this is where like everything gets dark is right after in the previous relationship, there was some stuff that happened with my dad. And because my dad was living with us, things were really, really ugly. My dad got involved. It really strained our relationship. So after I have my daughter, I'm trying to get up to northern Utah so that my dad can meet my new baby. He's a really good grandpa. Like he's a great grandpa. The day that I'm actually like my taxes come, I'm getting ready to put everything together. He had a heart attack and died.
Oh.
That's tough.
So this is where everything changes, right? Like all of the I'm never going to go out the window.
Yeah,
you
all
know?
the reservations
Yeah,
come out.
Yeah, and I have a lot of money sitting in my lap, and my dad had just died, and I went off the deep. Started using opiates with
It's a
no
bad
cups.
combo, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden you got some cash and you got pain of your dad just died.
Yeah.
Terrible combo. I mean, for
Awful.
for a person that struggled with addiction, that's
Yeah.
almost a recipe for bad things to happen.
So you have kind of, I'm trying to track like on a linear thing here. You have periods of abstinence.
Yeah.
In those periods of abstinence, because you just mentioned like, you know, the reservations came out when things fell into place. Do you have recovery knowledge? Do you have a fellowship? Like, or are you just white knuckling it?
White knuckling it.
Okay.
Like in our family, like up in my life, like I've never seen people do a recovery program.
Okay.
So you haven't been to treatment or anything at this
No.
point in the
Yeah.
story. Okay.
So things go crazy from there, of course, and I end up pregnant again.
Kind of pregnant?
I end up pregnant again.
Oh, okay. I thought you said kind of pregnant. I'm like,
And I have no care in the world. Like I don't.
care to survive.
Yeah, I don't care. So things just go really, really bad through that pregnancy. We're living in Salt Lake with my ex in his like shop, and so all my kids are just surviving, right?
Right. Sounds like everybody's surviving.
Yeah, and I had him on New Year's Eve, New Year's morning. He was 7-ish weeks early. I'd never gone to an OB. His little ears weren't even formed all the way yet.
Oh, shoot.
And I had him in the ambulance on the way up to LDS hospital. So this is the first time, this saves me, right? Like DCFS, I go to treatment, I get him back with my little girl.
You were sort of court forced to go to treatment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the state took him and our other baby. But I got him right back because I did everything. So this is the biggest part of my story, is that when I got my littles back, my babies, it had been like 3 or 4 months since my son had been born, and he'd been with my sister. And I didn't feel a connection to him, but I faked it, right? I had this connection with him. And I was struggling to bond with him to a point where I shut off trying to. And I left him for the wolves, right? I just left this little baby for all of my kids to take care of. But I faked it through that case to get it closed because I didn't want to admit, like, what kind of mom?
Right.
What kind of mom isn't bonding with her child, especially when this is my 6th child and I've never experienced anything like this before.
Do you think it was like a fear of rejection? In other words, like, I don't feel like he's bonding, and so I'm purposely going to just let, like, the kids parentify, raise him, take care of him? Because
I don't know, because I got crazy. Like,
Well,
I got,
sure.
like, when I, like, watching him bond with, say, Dustin, I wasn't. So this is what I say, is women that hurt their children, I get it.
You have empathy.
I have empathy. because there's this like psychotic piece that's there, right? And it's really just like mental health stuff. Like I needed help, but I didn't know that I needed help.
Can I make 2 quick points?
Yeah.
The bumper sticker, hurt people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's A. That's point A. Point B, there is nothing, and I've made this point on this podcast before, I just love to reiterate it. There is nothing on the planet that will break a mother-child bond more than drugs.
Yeah. That's so
It's
true.
one of the very few things that can break that bond, and it can because of how powerful it is.
Yes.
And because if you talk to a mom about her kids, they get pretty feisty sometimes. But a mom on drugs is a different story because it hijacks your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's almost for sure all drugs.
Yes. And it's so true. Like all my relationships with my children are just amazing. Even when I was using, I had pride in like the types of bonds that I had with my kids, but I was vacant. I wasn't there for them.
Takes a lot to say that now, though.
Yeah. Well, so it leads up.
Like in other words, the accountability. Like I'm genuinely like impressed and feel respect towards the accountability because it's hard to admit our failures, our shortcomings, and our downfalls, right? And so, like I have a lot of admiration that you can come on and you can take accountability for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously today you're a different person than you were living in that garage with your ex.
Yeah.
So you've made some strides in your life, but still, it's still not easy.
No. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. That's my peace. That's like, so when I got into recovery this time, somebody told me you take that pain and you hold on to it, so that it reminds you.
Yeah. You purpose it.
Yeah. So, and there's another part too of like, you can advocate against something that you were a part of, right? So you have the power to change your mind.
Sure.
Type stuff. So after that, that whole case, right? And I did treatment. I went back to using because I've got this whole baby that I don't know what to do with. And things got really, really bad. And it leads up to, I end up with, child abuse charges. And my baby is in the hospital. And I'm not going to get into all that because that's like trauma work, right?
Yeah.
But my kids got taken and my baby got really seriously injured. And I bailed out and then I went off because then I don't have kids and my identity was my kids. And now I don't have children and what am I supposed to do? And so me and Dustin do what we can do.
You go back to your number one coping mechanism, which is drugs.
And so then like stealing and taking from our grandma. And so we ended up getting arrested with a bunch of charges. And right before we got arrested, we made a plan that we were going to go to court and relinquish our rights on all the kids. And that we were going to be done because we were done. We were so done. So we get arrested. The day that we were like, that our plan, I found out I was pregnant. So like divine intervention,
I
right?
would say God had a different plan, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And a bit of a sense of humor.
I don't know if
My
that's a sense of
higher
humor.
power has the best sense of humor.
Yeah.
At my expense.
Yeah, that's the problem is you're the butt of the
I
joke,
am
right?
the butt of the joke.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that like
that'll
a-
ruin some plans.
Was that like a sign for you, though, that maybe the plan to relinquish your rights was not the right plan?
It was a sign. Yes, it was a sign. Because that night before that, actually, like I was like, because my dad had died, and I was sitting in jail cell, and I was like, "You've left me," to my dad.
Sure.
And
I still do that.
As
to
I
this
was like,
day.
yeah, and as I was going to sleep, I heard him very clearly be like, "Get up and stop sniveling. You're gonna take care of this."
Oh.
And I could smell him,
Ooh.
whatever.
I love
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
And so that was like, that's my moment of my starting moment.
That's a moment. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to try to do something.
That's when you got a little fight in you.
Yeah. So,
Did you consider an abortion?
yeah. That's part of my story too, is I've done that.
Okay.
Like,
I'm just wondering at this particular juncture where, like, holy mackerel, I've decided to not have kids. Oh, wait.
what a mess. I'm in jail, right? And
What a
like
mess.
DCFS is involved. And they've taken all of my 6 children, and here I am in
And
jail.
you're pregnant.
Pregnant with all these charges.
She keeps saying what a mess.
It's
and I just see
okay,
what
but
you did
that
there.
right
Crystal.
there's a mess,
I
though.
see it. I see it.
That's a mess, though.
Can I point something out?
Sure.
Oftentimes, I heard you say it earlier, and it flagged me. You said, and at that point, I was saved.
I'd like to flag you.
Your story is there's some consistencies with mine, because today we have a really hard, like, people talk about the criminal justice system and some of these agencies that are put in place. I don't look at the criminal justice system with a bitter taste in my mouth. I can honestly look back and go, thank God, because there's no other way I was getting clean except for a jail cell that I had no option to go out, because I was going to lie, manipulate. I mean, right? And so it's just interesting that both of us, that was our rock bottoms.
Yeah.
And yet today you have a lot of people that are throwing a fit and trying to change legislation and trying to change it. And do I think it's the only way? No, I don't. It worked for me, and so I believe in it, right? But I almost hear an appreciation in what you shared when DCFS got involved, and what you shared just now, that you went to jail and it was kind of your rock bottom.
I feel the same about Doppel. Like,
Do you?
Doppel saved my life. Was it a pleasant experience? No, but did they save my life? Oh, yeah.
It was the wake-up call you needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So sometimes some of those entities step in and save us from ourselves, right?
When
Yeah.
she said, in that moment, I decided I was going to get up, right?
Yeah.
I can hear
Stop
like the Rocky
sniveling.
music. Dun, 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 dun. Right?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
so take us into it. So, Crystal, we got the
Okay.
we got the Rocky
Sorry.
music
Sorry
going
for
for
the
us.
sound
We
effect.
want to hear the comeback.
Yeah, let's get up. Stop
I-
sniveling.
So in this year, I relinquished my rights on my little boy while I was still in jail. Another one of those like higher power moments. He ended up in the perfect home, like,
Cool.
and
Way cool.
it's like a kinship, right? So he's with family of family.
Can I hate interrupting, and I do it a lot. What do your kids look like at this point? Like, how old? Where were you? So you had this little boy was how old? That you gave
he
up?
was 2.
He was 2, and he was the one that was born 7 weeks early.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else do you have at this point?
I don't have any.
Okay, you have the one that was just born,
Yeah.
and then the 2-year-old.
The state has taken all of them. I'm
The
in jail.
state's got the rest of
Yeah.
them.
My oldest is not in state custody
Okay.
because she was with
All
my
right.
brother.
All right.
Okay, so I relinquished on him. I go into treatment, and I'm going into treatment for my little girl. She's 3 at this time.
Okay.
So you're still fighting for her.
I'm still fighting for her. We do this like bonding assessment, and she told me, well, she kept running from me. I want mommy Ashley, which is my sister. So that's when I realized, like, I have to let her go. This is the second DCFS case with her in her
3 years.
in her little 3 years life, right? And so I relinquished my rights. She went with my sister. I was bitter. I was such a brat. I was such a brat.
Sure.
I was so rotten.
Who do you take your bitterness out on? Your
Myself,
sister?
but
Just yourself.
manipulatively, I was trying to get them with my other sister, because I wanted to play the game. I wanted to be able to access her whenever I wanted, right? And so I didn't see her for 3 years. And it was, we've talked about this a little bit, I think. I had such a good bond with her, even through everything, that I literally felt like I had lost a piece of my heart, and it hurt every day. And I was so upset with the whole system set up through that. And it took me a lot to get through, and I was pregnant. And at that point, I didn't know if I wanted this baby within me, because I was hurting so much over that.
Sure. Because every day is a reminder that you're missing your little girl.
Yeah. And so when I had him, the deal that the state had made with me went out the window, and they were coming to take him away from me. And this is like the fight of the century. Like, this baby at one point, his name's Clay. He's 6 now. He was the most protected baby in Utah. Like, I couldn't do anything by myself with him because of what I'd done to my previous baby, right? What had happened. So the state was scared that he was going to get hurt. So the treatment center literally had to do everything for me with him because
They acted as like the safe person, the third party.
Yeah.
Everything you did was supervised.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. That's the word.
And DCFS was trying to put every roadblock in the way for me to not be able to move forward, being his mom. And I was scared, and I wrote everything down that we did together, everything, because I thought any day now they're coming in, and if they get their hands on him, I'm never getting him back.
Right. All he has to do is trip and break a finger, and you're in trouble,
Yeah,
right?
and so I grieved, after I had him for a couple months, going forward, knowing that this is going to a termination trial. And the judge, I was in family recovery court. I'd pleaded in a few months before, and it actually saved me because the judge had been seeing, like, she's not doing anything wrong.
Right.
And
You're not
That's
using
very
drugs
good.
at this time.
yeah, and he knows where I'm at. And so finally I'm like, I have to move forward with my life. And so I tell one of the counselors, like, I'm ready for him to go to daycare. I have to go find a job so that I can get out of this place. And that's a big moment for me. It's a big moment because that was the moment that I realized that I was going to move on, regardless of if I got to continue being his mom or not. I had to prepare for either one. And
Move on in your life, move on in your sobriety,
yeah.
recovery.
Yeah. And through this, I'm by myself. Like, Dustin is in jail, waiting to go to Horizon House. So we've been apart my whole pregnancy.
Wait, is he still waiting to get into Horizon House?
I think
or-
so.
Yeah. I know that place. I know.
Yeah.
I know the waits on Horizon House. Or,
He might still be there.
It's
He's
bad.
going to get a call any day.
It's bad.
So all these things lined up, like everything that I affirmated started coming back. I found somebody that would rent a room to me. Her and her family bent over backwards to get approved through DCFS. All sorts of things.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
nice, huh?
so that me and the baby could come there. And
A little bit of self-esteem. Somebody loves me.
yeah, and they approved it for me to move in like 3 weeks before we were going to termination. And at our next court date, the DCFS was like, we're going to drop these charges. Because they realized once I moved out of treatment with the baby that,
Yeah, you're doing it.
yeah, I'm doing it. They
Yeah.
can't say, oh, you're not doing it. And
How long ago was this?
this was almost 7 years ago.
Yeah, 'cause I was saying, I know you got some time.
I've got, 6 years ago. I've got almost 7 years. Yeah. So
Have you had any interaction? Sellers is giving you knuckles there. Have you had any type of further agency interaction since then?
no.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, I pled into drug court after that, like,
Right.
because I need to keep going. So I did another year drug court.
So with about 3 minutes left, thank you for sharing all that.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, the thing I love about your story, Crystal, is it's not just substance after substance after substance. It's behaviors. It's life circumstances. It's real world stuff, right?
Yeah.
And some of the hardest stuff is kids, man. I mean, I got my own thing of kids, and this episode's about you, so we're not going to get into it. But I can totally relate on a very deep level.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff you shared. With 3 minutes left, how did you make it 7 years? Let's hear the recovery.
I found that, like, that fire that, like, made me put him in daycare and go get a job.
The Rockies theme song?
Yeah. So
the,
I
the
fought.
dad saying stop
I
sniveling.
kept fighting like that for the rest of my kids, right? Because
Okay.
I'm a mom. And so today, my teenagers, well, they're like adults now. They all live with me.
You got them
I'm
all back.
Probably never going to get rid of them. Okay.
Right.
And I
Right.
have a good, me and my sister are building a good relationship, and I have access to my 9-year-old, right? I get to see her and love her, and my little boy, I get to
she
see
doing?
pictures of him. She's great.
Does she have
She's great.
special needs?
No,
She
No.
here okay?
she's great.
It was the boy that had
It was the boy.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
he's
sorry.
great too.
I'm on
No,
the
he's
wrong-
great too. He
I thought the
has an amazing life, and I get to see pictures of him, and it's like watching him through somebody else's kitchen window,
So you
It's
said
beautiful.
that you
Interesting.
said that you fought, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, what does that look like though? So if I'm sitting here and I have DCFS cases, and if I feel like I can't stop using drugs, speak to that person. Like, what's your message to that individual?
Okay, that
Because
meant
it coming
'cause
from
that's
you is
hopeless.
so powerful.
Because that feels hopeless when DCFS gets involved, right?
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do a plug. I am a peer recovery coach for USARA, which is Utah Support Advocates for Recovery Awareness, and my passion is helping mothers women that are going through the things that I've been through.
That are currently walking through what
Yes.
you've already walked
Yes.
out of.
And DCFS, I don't hold anything against them, right? The system is scary, though. The system is terrifying, and you don't know what you're walking into. And if you are going into that and you don't know what you're doing, reach out to me,
Okay, here we go.
and I will help walk you through that.
How would people reach out to you? Through you, Sarah?
Yep, here in St. George.
So all that,
Facebook.
what a mess,
What a mess.
has literally become
What a strength.
one of your biggest. Yeah,
What a
thank you. You
strength.
beat me to the punchline.
Yes.
Like now you get
Sorry.
paid to. You're totally
But
fine.
yeah, what a strength.
You get paid to help people that are walking through what you've already walked out of.
Yeah.
Like that. The miracle of recovery is mind blowing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the big success story right here, right? All that crap that happened to you suddenly now makes you qualified to do what you're doing.
And probably one of the best at it.
And
From-
somebody without hope can turn to you and you can give them some.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
There's something powerful about sitting across from somebody and they're sharing their dirt with you, and you can look them back in the eye and go, "Dude, I get it.
Yeah.
Been there,
Yeah.
done that."
There is.
And they're like, "Wait, what? You're not disgusted by me? Wait, what? You still want to talk to me? Right?
Yeah.
So,
That's a cool story.
yeah.
It's powerful.
Love that story.
Oh, well.
She's not batting the table anymore. She's not moving around. I think she's
I know.
finally settled in.
Yeah,
Doc.
let's go
we
another
should've
30
just talked
minutes.
about my recovery
We
because
have-
I'm like fine with my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
We got
I get
well,
it.
we got 15 seconds left. One last word for our audience.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. This is episode 103. We do recover with Jared Miller. We'll see you next week.
We out.
We out. Thank you for joining us today on We Do Recover with Jared Miller.
Help us spread our message of hope. Like, comment, and share.
If you have any topics or ideas for future shows, please share that on our Facebook page.
That Facebook page is We Do Recover with Jared Miller. If you or a loved one needs help, please reach out to us. Again, thank you for listening.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn.
This has been a production from a podcast studio.